apologies. We were trying to record this for people who can't participate, but seems to not have a record option on Zoom right now. So what I wanted to do first was say thank you for those of you who are here and just do some quick introductions for people who have been able to join. So I'm going to start, just go down my list. Justin, are you able to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Justin Alvey. I'm the Division Chief of General Peds and Vice Chair of Clinical Enterprise for Department of Peds.
And this is also a time if anybody has any updates on, any exciting publications or announcements that they'd like to share with the board, this would be a great opportunity to let people know. Anything exciting, Justin?
We were well represented at PAS. Our department had over 40 presentations, I think. My division, I think, had 11 people go, so it was good to see that.
Great. And then let's see here. Gina, can you go next?
Sure. Gina Polamani. Currently work for the University of Utah, working with Spark Autism Outreach, as well as the faculty and management team of the Utah Regional Leadership in Education and Neurodevelopmental Disabilities, and former, founder of Utah Family Voices and former associate director for the Utah Parent Center.
Thanks. Kathy?
Hello everyone, my name is Kathy Kuiper and I am from Rhode Island, and I coordinate the Rhode Island Service Directory.
Thank you. Sarah, hi.
I'm Sarah Winter, neurodevelopmental pediatrician, medical director of the developmental clinics for the university, and you are Lynn, and so good to see Athena, because she used to be our manager, and Gina, who I see all the time. But yeah, nothing dramatically new, though, I would have to say.
Okay, thanks. Melissa, welcome. Are you able to introduce yourself?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, great. So I'm Melissa Mason. I'm a pediatrician in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I'm on the board of the New Mexico Pediatric Society, which is the New Mexico chapter of the American Academy of Pediatrics. And my exciting news is I am also chair of the immunization committee, and we have received a grant to try to increase COVID vaccine uptake in the 6-month to 4-year-olds, because less than 4% of that age group in the state of New Mexico are actually up to date on their vaccines. So excited to do that work.
Oh, wow. Good work. That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
Molly, I'm glad you're able to join. Can you introduce yourself?
I'm Molly O'Gorman Pico. I'm a pediatric gastroenterologist, hepatologist, and nutritionist at the University of Utah. And I've been working with Jennifer on lots of things and lots of patients for a long time. And two things new. We did our first liver heart transplant on a 15-year-old with Kabuki syndrome, and she was born with hypoplastic left, and she became cirrhotic. She's still in the hospital, but she's surviving, and we're very excited. We used a new, it's called Organox On, and it's a new device that keeps the liver cannulated and circulation, so our ischemic times are lower. At least according to my surgeons, we have done 3 this past 6 months, and we're the only pediatric hospital to be using this. This is a miracle device that is at IMC, the big hospital, and Dr. Botha and Dr. Kastenberg are really excited about this new approach. The other kid we used it on lived in Las Vegas, Nevada, and we had to travel her, and that was one of the second patients that we've used this device on, and it's going to be a game changer.
That's amazing. Thanks for sharing that. That's exciting news.
Yeah.
Lynn Kerr's on the phone right now, but unable to introduce herself, and she is one of our retired neurologists. I feel weird saying retired because I feel like you're always with us, busy, but retired neurologist who has been involved with the portal for many years, and so happy that you're able to join today. And then there'll probably be some late joiners from the editorial board. I'm just going to have staff introduce briefly. Bree is new to our group. So Bree, do you want to introduce yourself first?
Sure, yes. Hi, my name is Bree McNary, and I'm an administrative assistant for the General Pediatrics Department at the U.
Thanks. And Athena?
Hi, I'm Athena Parker, and I support our state partners in the Medical Home Portal.
And Dale?
Yep, Dale Herring, managing editor.
Great. And then we've asked Taylor Bench to join us today. Taylor, do you want to just give a quick intro, and we will circle back to talk a little bit more about your project?
Certainly. After hearing everybody's introductions, I'm highly unqualified to be here. Taylor Bench, I am the managing director at Summit Venture Studio. We're a commercialization studio where we are investing in launching companies based on software and copyright coming from universities and hospitals.
Great, thank you. Okay, we're going to just go ahead and move on into the agenda. I'm going to, where did it go? Share screen, here we go. And then I'll just put up the agenda for a minute. Okay, hopefully you can see the agenda now. And so the first thing I wanted to do was just briefly give everybody a quick update on the writing groups. We've had just amazing participation since our last meeting in September. We're now up to 17 faculty and fellows participating in the writing and career development group on one or more projects. And so this has been a wonderful opportunity for people to have some impact, getting publications out there. And then we've also had a big flurry of activity as a number of folks on this list have been working towards promotion and putting together their packets for promotion and asking for statistics to help support the impact of their work. So Athena and Dale have been instrumental in providing information for the faculty authors who are going up for promotion and then helping assist giving them information on how to get these things documented on their CV. So we're very appreciative of this group, and it's been keeping us on our toes, trying to have meetings with everybody and keep things moving along. Particularly that falls on Dale's shoulders. We're very, very appreciative of all their work. And then our writing elective for this academic year we're still going. We've still got three more people, I think, who are going to be joining us before June is over and the academic year ends, but a total of 15 residents, mostly second and third year residents, who have participated in updating pages for the portal. And they do this generally in conjunction with a senior author. If it's family-oriented content they've been updating, sometimes we go in more to a reviewer model instead of having a senior author, but they go through us at a minimum. So this has been really fun, and a couple of them have been very industrious this year. The word is getting out, and people are starting to sign up for next year for both a longitudinal and then like a week-by-week elective. Okay. Any questions about that before I move on? And if you have questions, I can't see everybody's video right now, so use the chat or your virtual hand, or just shout. Okay, we're going to move on to the Writers and Reviewers Awards and then talk a little bit about the upcoming party. So for those of you, probably most of you can remember that we did an awards recognition thing last year and sent out certificates and pens and gave out these wonderful awards to quite a few people. It was the first time we'd ever done that. And so we went through and looked at everybody's contribution again and came up with some award recipients for this year. And we will be doing another mailing of certificates and engraved pens. Bree's going to help me with that this week. So we just got all the stuff ready. So this is like the first go of people hearing about it. Kind of exciting. So the Lifetime Contribution Award decided to give this to people who've had 10 years or more of involvement with the portal, who hadn't yet been recognized. And so this Dale, who's on this call, is one of these recipients and has been involved for, what is it, 11 years now, 10 years? It's been a while. Going strong. And then Mindy and Efren, who were on our team in the past. We wanted to recognize all of their contributions. And then Al Roman, who was contracted with us through Department of Health and has written quite a bit of content and been involved for a number of years, will be receiving those awards too. They don't have them yet, so if you see them in the next couple days or talk to them, they probably don't know about them. The Golden Pen Award is for the authors who have now published at least 10 publications, and this year we were able to award this to Kim Stowers, who's in general pediatrics at the University of Utah, and Han Hollick, who is a student who's been working with her on these publications, so a medical student. They just have cranked out so much content in the past couple of years that they finally hit that like 10 or higher marks. Very exciting. The Fountain Pen Award was our other award for writers, and this is with 5 or more publications and a number of people from the University of Utah. This includes both faculty and then also Chris is a fellow. We have Claire, who's a resident, and Denise, who's a formal faculty, and Jessica Liu just happens to be my sister, but she has written a number of updates, mostly pertaining to the postpartum depression page. And so anyway, we want to appreciate all these folks. And then reviewers who have reviewed at least 5 publications, we also will be sending them an appreciation. And this includes some folks from within the University of Utah and some external as well. But people who have been involved in the past, who may have been at the University of Utah previously and are gone now, but are still involved in reviewing. So it's pretty exciting. I'll just show you the webpage if I can. The little Zoom thing is always in the way. Here we go. So we updated the page to reflect the new additions. Sorry, I don't want to make anybody totally sick to their stomach, but we're pretty excited to show this off today. So anyway, thank you to everybody who has been participating and to staff for making that happen with the awards and the updating the page. Are we back on the agenda? Okay. There is a writer's party. This is just a party to celebrate all of the faculty and fellows and then residents and award winners who we've invited everybody, including the editorial board, to this meeting. If you don't have an invitation or you didn't see the invitation, we'd be happy to send it out again. But it'll be in my backyard, weather permitting, at the end of next week, a little wine and cheese event. And so it's something that if you're not like super social or not in town, don't worry about it at all. But if it sounds like fun to you and you're available, please come. Okay. Any questions about any of those things? All right. We are going to move on to the updates. So I already mentioned with staffing, there's been a little bit of changes. Michelle Redfield left and Bree took over as our administrative assistant. Bree's been wonderful. Right now, the remaining staff are those of us who you see on the call, so me and Dale and Athena. And then for the board, Dr. Longo is going to move to UCLA, and Christian Curtis, who had been on the board, but I don't think had actually had an opportunity to participate in the board, we just went ahead and removed from the board. So, all right. Then I wanted to let people know about, I think this is probably one of the most interesting parts of today's meeting. We wanted to provide some updates on what feels like it's been a long time in process. And that is looking towards our future. And since we've been in this holding pattern for a while, is one of the reasons we haven't been having meetings, is we haven't been making editorial changes that required a lot of input from the board over this past year. So in what we're calling Plan A, this would be working with Summit Venture Studios, and so Taylor's on the call and can potentially add more to this. But in summary, what would happen, and this is the preferred scenario for the university right now, is that we will enter into an agreement with Summit Venture Studios, who will learn about the inner workings of the portal, all of the service provider information that Athena really is in charge of with our state partners, and then all of the content authoring and publishing system and all of the pieces involved with that that Dale and I are more involved in. So Summit will learn about all of that and get to see the inner workings of what we call the back end of the portal, the tech that this all relies on, that has been somewhat challenging for all of us to work with over the past few years, but an important part of what we're doing. Ultimately, what we think would happen if this goes through, and I'm trying to kind of say this tentatively, not to put Taylor on, in any kind of obligation with this, but over the next 6 months, some Venture Studios would be able to see what's going on and make a decision if they want to pursue licensing the website, and then we would enter into agreements on how to make that transition. Then there would be the potential for Summit to license content, both new content and updated content, as well as work with other institutions on authoring content and expand the website and make it marketable, with the thought that down the road, within a couple of years, there would be some kind of company or investor who then would purchase the site. So it would go from a public website to private, and so part of our arrangement and discussion over the next few months would be how to make this happen, and make sure that we have, we're comfortable with the integrity of the content, and if we're going to be licensing and so forth. We've had a great experience so far talking with Summit and trying to work with our technology licensing office at the U has been, I think, challenging for both us and the staff and for Taylor, but it's an important part of what we've been doing to try to write up this options agreement. And then there's also some language for authors to allow use of their content since because of this transition from public to private. Because the portal, the cost of us and the cost of the technology in which we publish and maintain our service database and so forth is expensive to the university, this has been the preferred option to be able to hopefully continue the website in some way, shape, or form. And anyway, so it's still unfolding, but it has been, feels like it's moving closer at this point and is potentially within reach. So that's exciting. I know we were talking about this a year ago, and so slow progress, but progress. I'll let Taylor answer questions about this maybe in a minute. I just wanted to let you know that there is a plan B if this weren't to work out. Dale and I have been trying to generate some ideas for how we could transition the existing content, at least archive it, and then potentially move it to a slightly different platform, which would be a very, no frills, more like static page content scenario. And then we also would be working with the Department of Pediatrics to try to generate a journal that would reflect our faculty's work. Because we have been really focused on this potential for working with some adventure students, we haven't fleshed that out, but that's kind of our fallback option, and we think we have some reasonable ideas there that we could move to if Plan A doesn't work out. I can't answer a whole bunch of questions on that because it's very up here right now, but I just wanted you guys to be aware there is a Plan B that would involve publishing. Ideally would involve a journal, and therefore would still include an editorial board. Okay. Lots of stuff there. Taylor, would you like to add anything? I probably am characterizing some of it from how you might explain it.
No, I think you did a good job of just describing what we're looking at, what the opportunity is. It looked like Melissa had a question about what the privatization means. For us at Summit, we're